Prenuptial agreements are contracts between two people intending to get married that determine how their assets will be divided when the marriage ends. A prenuptial agreement, commonly called a prenup, though in Wyoming, you'll also likely hear the term antenuptial agreement. We're eForms, the largest online database of fillable legal forms, and in this video, we'll address what the law says about Wyoming prenups, the requirements for a valid prenup, and what to know before you start drafting one. And be sure to watch to the end of this video so you can find a link to access a template for an official Wyoming prenuptial agreement. First, what can prenups do in Wyoming? Unlike many other states, Wyoming has no statutes directly addressing prenuptial agreements. As a result, prenups in Wyoming function much like other contracts, which means that parties can structure the agreements to suit their needs. The limits are the same that one would find in other contracts, with disputes in particular cases decided based on cases from Wyoming appellate courts. Although prenups are most closely associated with marriage ending in divorce, they can also be used to address the situation of one partner dying. They can apply to almost any kind of property, personal property, real property, and intangible assets like stocks, bank accounts, and ownership interests in a business. Prenups can also reference or incorporate other written agreements such as last will and testament. So what does it take for a prenup to be valid in Wyoming? Prenups should be written down and signed by both of the parties. Best practice is to sign in the presence of a notary. There are a couple ways in which the fundamentals of prenups set them apart from other types of contracts. The first is that they don't become effective on signing. Instead, prenups usually become official once the couple gets married. The other big difference concerns the subject of consideration. Consideration is a requirement in contracts, and it basically means that there must be some exchange of value, usually in the form of some amount of money. A promise to do or not do something without getting anything in return is generally not enforceable. But with prenups, there doesn't need to be any money or other valuable exchange. Getting married is all the consideration that is required for the agreement to become effective. Another significant thing about the requirements for prenups concerns the information that must be exchanged beforehand. Most states require that the parties exchange financial information before signing a financial agreement. The idea is that people should be informed before agreeing to a method of distributing assets. In some states, this requirement means that parties have what is known as affirmative duty to provide detailed documents about their finances. In Wyoming, this requirement tends to be interpreted more loosely. While deliberately deceiving your partner could be grounds for invalidating a prenup, there is no requirement to provide a spouse-to-be with documents showing income and net worth. What else should you consider if you're thinking about a prenup? From a legal perspective, one thing to consider about Wyoming is that it is an equitable distribution state. This means in the event of a divorce in which the parties cannot agree on how to divide their assets, the judge in the case has considerable authority to divide their assets in a way that the judge views as fair. Needless to say, your definition of what is fair may differ considerably from the judge's. For years, prenuptial agreements were disapproved under the law because they were thought to encourage divorce. This idea has now been abandoned, and in Wyoming, prenups are looked on much more favorably. They are designed to provide certainty by removing the possibility of extensive litigation to settle the distribution of assets. Nonetheless, merely bringing up the possibility of a prenup can create tension in even the healthiest relationship. Whether one is advisable will depend on your financial situation and you and your partner. People coming into a marriage with children or dependents from previous relationships and those with large or complex financial interests tend to be more likely to pursue prenups, but every relationship is different. To find an official Wyoming prenup and to get the process rolling, click the link right here. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos about how to use knowledge of the law to save time and money.